Guys, what is up? This is Eddie and Eddie, and welcome to a video on the channel here for you guys today. And we are going to do a video on talking about who is Birmingham City's worst manager in, probably the most recent years. We'll say after, obviously, from the start of like 2010 to obviously now, because that's probably when we all can probably remember and talk about and most of the stuff. And that's when I can mostly remember most of the Blues managers. So we'll kick off to our first one, which is Gianfranco Zola. Before we do, though, make sure to drop a like and subscribe to the channel if any guys are new. I will mean the absolute world if any guys could. So we're going to kick off with Gianfranco Zola. So if any guys don't know, Gianfranco Zola took over the reins of Gary Rowett. Rowett was sacked at Blues after guided them to a 6th place finish on a shoestring budget, as you would say. And we've not, in all fairness, if you compare it to our squad we have now, not really the best of squads, to be honest with you. So, yeah, so we've done that, guide to 6th place, and then he gets sacked. And then Gianfranco Zola obviously took over, came in, first game of the season, loses 2-1 against Brighton in the last minute. But, however, Brighton did get promoted that season, and things were looking quite good in that game. So we lost against Brighton, who were the best side in the league, maybe. You could argue them or Newcastle at the time. And, and we thought we played quite well. We thought we matched, a top of the table team. And, we take it, it's only, it's a top of the table team. Didn't expect much. We took a point. Shame we lost it in the end, And then, and then we got on to the next game. And then defeat again. The next game. Then defeat again. The next game. Then defeat again. The next game. Defeat then again. And then again. And 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 again. Until we got to Fulham, where we finally won a game, a 1-0 win against a 9-man Fulham side. Yeah. So unfortunately, Gianfranco Zola, it didn't work out at Blues. It got sacked after the Burton game, where unfortunately lost 2-0, and I did go down to that game as well. I do remember sitting in that game and watching that game, and yeah, we all chanting we want Zola out. And then Zola went at the end of it, and he didn't leave too late as well. And then Redknapp came in and saved the day. So, let's go and analyse this quick season very quickly. Signings were a bit positive, to you. He brought Craig Gardner back, who's now a coaching staff for the club. Happy with that. You done well there, Zola. Transfers, Ensu and Keita. Ensu was a brilliant right back for us. You could still argue, you could argue that, probably one of our best right backs, in most recent years. I think Haaland just edges it for me, but he was a very good player, Ensu. Check Keita, another good player, which I really liked. Really good young player. First as well, left back and left mid. And, I really liked him, but unfortunately he didn't get played under many other managers. I'm not too sure on who else he brought in, to be honest with you. Jerome Sinclair and Christian Bilic. Yeah, they were pretty pointless, to be honest with you. Bilic was actually okay. Jerome Sinclair was meh, he wasn't really the best, to be honest with you. But yeah, and then he was sacked the Burton game, which, fair play to him for... No, he wasn't sacked, he left. So fair play to Zola for leaving. We would probably stick to him, and he'd probably got relegated. So we'd have probably been in League One now, to be honest with you. We'd probably still be in it. So, we'll move on to our next, one of our worst majors, Steve Cotterill. So, Steve Cotterill took over the reins after when Lee Carsley, a caretaker manager, was obviously finished his caretaking duties, and we lost 6-1 against Hull. But then again, Steve Cotterill's first game for the club, 1-0 win against Cardiff, another one the better side in the league, and things were looking up. We all thought, he was the brain, because he was the manager with Redknapp, assistant manager, and we thought, the brain of the operation, we're gonna have a charge here, we're gonna have a comfortable season, mid-table, maybe even a playoff push. But how wrong we were. 3-0 defeats after 3-0 defeats after 3-1 defeats, 1-0 defeats, 2-0 defeats. And yeah, it didn't look very good. However, there was a little spark in December where we beat teams like Reading, Sheffield Wednesday away from home, and things were on the up again. We also scoring goals that game. Scored 3 past Sheffield Wednesday, we scored 2 past Reading, or 3 past Reading if I'm not wrong. And yeah, we looked very promising to us then. And then it quickly deteriorated where Steve Cotterill, started using excuses, excuses like if we'd have kept a clean sheet there, we'd have won 1-0 when we lost 3-1. If we would have scored that goal, it would have been a 2-2 draw. If we would have, if if the pitch wasn't watered at this time, we would have won 1-0. Wasn't that, it was ridiculous. Half the excuses he was coming out with during most of the games. And it just got a little bit pathetic in the end. And then he was sacked by Zola after the Nottingham Forest game. And then Gary Monk was appointed. The only thing which I would say about Steve Cotterill, which he was dealt a bad hand with, was the transfer window. He didn't get to spend anything. But in all fairness, we were under a transfer embargo at the time. But did Steve Cotterill know that? I don't think he did, because we were constantly linked with players, and then nothing just came, true in the end. It's a massive shame, that we couldn't manage to build something under Steve Cotterill, because let's face it, he's a really nice guy, Steve Cotterill. Doing very well at Shrewsbury at the moment. I think League One is his level, and then try and build himself up to a Championship manager maybe. So now we move on to the final one, which is Aitor Karanka. Oh man, okay, so let's repeat myself again. It started off well, we beat Brentford, drew against Swansea, get a team which are promotion teams, and I think that's shown this season. Swansea playoff finalist and Brentford playoff finalist, and Brentford obviously promoted, and we won that 1-0 against Brentford, which was very positive. Fantastic win against a very good side, and then we drew against Swansea 0-0, which you look at that, 4 points from 2 top 6 teams in the previous season, and yeah, that's very good. That's very good. Maybe we could, pull a rabbit out of the hat here. But then again, how wrong we were again. Then things quickly deteriorated after that 1-0 loss against Sheffield Wednesday. And then we just kept drawing. And then we went on a massive draw streak. I think we had 6 draws in a row. And then we went on a losing streak. And then we won the odd game here and there against teams like Sheffield Wednesday and QPR and Middlesbrough and Bristol City. All fantastic results, but all the way from home, the home performance, I think, was the worst home performance by a Blues manager since Gianfranco Zola took over. We did have at one point one of the best away records in the league and the best clean sheet record in the league in terms of goals conceded, but, losing a game 1-0, is... no matter how you lose the game, a loss is a loss at the end of the day. You can lose a game by playing absolutely terrible. You can lose a game by playing your absolute socks off. At the end of the day, it is a loss. And we unfortunately didn't play with any heart or desire under Aitor Karanka. We basically half-arsed the game and hoped we would get nicked something at the end. And Aitor Karanka did have a transfer window as well. He said he had the lowest budget according to our CEO. I don't believe that, because Steve Cotterill did. He didn't spend anything. Aitor Karanka, I think, spent 18 million at Blue Manager. I think the only manager that brought in more players than him was Harry Redknapp with more money, which was a massive shock to us at the same time, because obviously Redknapp, brought in a lot of good players. Aitor Karanka brought in a lot of good players, but it's a shame none of them really worked out. And I think Lee Bowyer now has managed to get the best out of them players. So, there we go. So that's my overview of all the managers. Let me know your thoughts on who the worst Birmingham City manager is. I am going to go with Aitor Karanka. I think the main reason why you probably might think I'm an idiot saying that, but I think Aitor Karanka had the most potential to be the best, and we all expected better after promotions with Middlesbrough, assistant managers at Real Madrid, also a player at Real Madrid, manager at Nottingham Forest, and very well Nottingham Forest too. All Nottingham Forest Middlesbrough fans always held him in high regard. Excuse me. So, so I'm going to go Aitor Karanka, our worst manager, because Zola, he actually tried and he actually played some good football. Steve Cotterill dealt a low hand in the transfer window. Aitor Karanka had a very good team at the time. Failed. So there you go. So let me know your thoughts on who the worst Birmingham City manager is. But yeah, thank you all for watching this video. Love every single one of you, and I hope to catch you in the next video. Take care. Much love. Keep right on, people.